The 17th of September 2013, GTA 5 released. As we approached the 10th anniversary of the game, I realized I've never played the story mode before, so I thought, hey, why not dedicate myself to giving the game a go 10 years later? In fact, why not try speedrunning it, and to make it more fun, if I don't complete the game within 12 hours, I have to delete something important to me, my 10-year-old GTA Online account. I already knew that the fastest anyone ever completed GTA 5 was 5 hours and 42 minutes, so I thought it'd be reasonable to simply double the time it took to give myself 11 hours and 24 minutes. And then I may as well round it up to 12 hours just for some extra leeway. At this point, despite having no idea what I was doing, I was as ready as I could be. So we had the stakes, we had the goal, the only thing left was preparation, which I thought would ruin the fun if I put any time into that. After announcing on YouTube and TikTok that I was giving this challenge a go, I got multiple comments telling me that there's absolutely no way I'd be able to do it, but despite my pure rage, I remained cool to maintain an epic public image. And so I was ready. I hopped into my run and started the timer. Now, hold on a minute there, bucko. Actually, something I forgot to mention. I'm balancing university and a part-time job on top of streaming, so I can actually only stream 4 hours a day. I know this invalidates the run, I just don't care. But it means this run will split into 3 days to hit the 12-hour mark from Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And Tuesday, oh my god, Tuesday was one hell of a beginning. Tuesday began really messy. I went in excited and honestly quite confident, but that all left me within the first few minutes. Lost in my excitement, I didn't pay attention to the game and didn't realize I was supposed to be following a tutorial, and I thought my keyboard broke. Why is my keyboard not working? After fumbling with my controller and then failing the mission on the second go, I realized my mistake after losing 2 minutes of time off the bat. Aim at the heart. Oh, bro, I'm actually just an idiot. Now, I wasn't completely honest earlier when I said I took no preparation. Off to the side, I had my laptop open with an absurdly basic website that had a speedrun guide on it. Pre-stream, I was confident that I could whip some skips out my ass from this guide and gain a little bit of time back, but that did not go to plan. Later on in the prologue, there's supposed to be a skip in which you get out the car before a checkpoint and destroy it, failing the mission, but skipping the rest. The best the guide gave me in describing it was I had to get out and destroy the tires. When I got to the point where the skip was, I panicked and finished the level intentionally, probably wasting a fair amount of time. This was a mistake I made so much during this run, and Christ did it become detrimental. The rest of the prologue was dead standard, and I actually went positive on time, funnily enough. But since it was my first speedrun, I made a mistake, and I skipped the next split, so I didn't actually know how well I'd done when I finished the next mission. Then, something unexpected and scary happened when I finished the third mission, Repossession. I actually went over on time. Now, this caught me off guard completely since, in my opinion, I did the mission perfectly. No fails, no deaths, not too many crashes, but I ended a whole minute over. If I'm being genuine, this made me poo my pants. Oh shit, bro, look at that, that time has just gone red, man. It's actually over. The mission shot went pretty well. It took me back into the negatives and honestly made me feel a lot better. But the next mission after that, Complications, was grim to say the least. Now, going into it, I of course wasn't 100% sure what to do, but whatever it was, I knew I had to do it quickly. I came to the conclusion I had to run into and through the house as fast as possible, and this actually made me fail quite a few times, and I ended the mission 2 minutes over. Now, the rest of the first day wasn't too dissimilar to what I've described to you so far. Gain some time, lose some time, slightly negative, slightly positive. Well, at least that was until the mission Friend Request. Now, Friend Request was a good mission for me since there are not many skips or strats to make the level go faster. So me doing it in about the same amount of time as the speedrun meant I gained a lot of time back. Well, that would be the case if I wasn't desperate for the toilet. My family is infamous for having some of the worst bladders in existence. As you can see here, I went to the toilet only an hour into the run, but I didn't really care because I was gonna wee myself. And I hate to say it, but that wasn't even the last time that happened this run. You might be thinking, oh great, but surely it's only a minute on this split. I should still gain time back. Yes, that might have been the case if this didn't happen at the end of the level. If you don't know, in this level you plant a bomb in the phone of this guy, Jay Norris. And then later, while watching TV, you manually set the bomb off to kill the guy. I would explain the impact on the story, but honestly, throughout the run, I wasn't paying attention at all. The main problem arose when I didn't understand the timing, and I spent 2 minutes watching a long cutscene, wasting a crazy amount of time. I was really lucky to end this split only half a second over, but all that does is show how much time I could have saved. Only one more bad thing happened on the first day, and it was really bad. On the mission Carbine Rifles, you're supposed to show up in a tuxedo, but there's no prompt for this, so I rocked up to the mission and got told to go get a tuxedo. So when I realized this, I went to the nearest poison bees to try and get back to the mission ASAP. As you can see, I was on a motorbike, which at the time I thought was smart because they're usually faster than cars and you can weave through traffic. Then this happened. I died! And if it doesn't seem it could get any worse, my GPU crashed and refreshed, which meant my game froze and I had to restart my OBS and sort out behind the scenes stuff. You see, in the run guides, it stated you should play on full screen mode, as it makes the game run better.
Notoriously for GTA 5, the windowed and windowed borderless playing experience is much worse than the full screen.
But I had always played on full screen windowed. Now, for the sake of being consistent, I played on full screen mode. Big mistake. It ended up refreshing another 4 times throughout my stream and was a complete nightmare. I ended the split 10 minutes over. Contrary to what I've just told you, I actually ended up finishing the day only 3 minutes down, which, to be honest, I was pretty happy with. You see, like I said earlier, if I have 40 minutes of leeway at the end, it means I can go down 40 minutes or so a day and I would still complete the game in under 12 hours. While the first day did end quite well, I did also know that the game would only progressively get harder and harder from here on out. But at this point, I wish I knew how bad Wednesday was going to be. Day 2 was honestly horrific from the start. The day began with me reopening Live Split, the splitting application you've been able to see at the left of the screen for all of this run, only to find that my splits from yesterday didn't save. I had no idea which split I had to aim for to end this day with 8 hours. Nor did I know if I had a good or bad time, but you'll see throughout today I was pretty sure I had a crap time. Remember this for later, but I decided to end the run on the mission Monkey Business, as I vaguely remember naming that mission for the end of day 2. The first mission I came back to was the construction work level, which is infamously an awful level in both casual playthroughs and speedruns, but it was especially awful for me simply due to the amount of times I failed it, and the unknown amount of time I had lost. Ah! Honestly, I'm pretty sure these docks are cursed because only a few minutes later on the mini-sub heist setup, I stole the mini-sub and on mission completion, I was spawned on the dock. Now, in hindsight, I should have just killed myself. Maybe I can't say that. Now, in hindsight, I should have just ended myself. Now, in hindsight, I should have just reset myself so I would spawn at a hospital. But I spent 5 whole minutes running around and jumping everywhere, desperate for a car or just a way out. This was only the beginning of Wednesday. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I didn't really have a guide other than that website, and that website wasn't really a guide. It more so just mentioned when speedrun skips were supposed to be, and really vaguely explained what to do, which obviously I gave up on and didn't touch. What it means though is that my route for this run was completely guided by the mission icons on the splits in Live Split. I saw which mission was next in the run and went to that one. It made the most sense to me, and for the most part it worked pretty well until this point. The split blitz play is something. I'm pretty sure it's a heist because that's what I ended up doing in the end, but as you can see on the left, the icon is peculiar to say the least, and I spent an uncomfortable amount of time looking for it and trying to spawn this icon on the map for me to follow. After a while, I decided screw it and went to do the heist setups on my map instead, which, while I was at least finally on the right track, the missions went awfully. I died multiple times. At this point, I knew I was behind on time, but I just wish I knew how awfully I was doing. Before I let you know at the end, I should tell you, in the speedrun, blitz play takes 20 minutes. For me, I did it in an hour. Now, the rest of the day was also something. I died a lot for the next 2 hours, and energy was extremely low throughout the stream, except for this moment. Oh shit, oh no. Oh. Now, Now, originally I was going to do a death counter for this video, as I thought that would be a bit of fun, but I failed and died so many times on this day alone that I honestly gave up. It would take way too much time. Nearing the end of the run, I started to get curious as to how behind I really was, and I looked at the speedrun I stole my splits from. Right, okay, I should have finished this 7:06. I was 40 minutes behind. I began to get stressed and upset that such an important thing to me was going to slip through my fingers and that it would be my fault. With 40 minutes behind, I had zero leeway for the next 4 hours and I couldn't lose any more time. Now, don't get me wrong, the account is sentimental to me since I got it almost 10 years ago, but it's more than just that. I had 30 days of in-game time and I wasn't ready to give up a month of my life just like that. I'm feeling confident. Dare I say, I'm feeling fucking confident. I'm so ready. Let's fucking do this. Thursday was magical. Before I get into the run, it's important to note that due to dwindling viewers and far too much GTA content for both me and the people watching me play, I decided to split the last 4 hours into Thursday and Friday. Another reason I did this was because I did something really smart, and I decided to actually watch the run. I watched how the skips were done, and I took notes of important things I needed to remember for the next 4 hours. Oh, and another thing, you know how I just said that I'm 40 minutes over and therefore have no more leeway? Forget about that. After fixing the splits and re-implementing the times, I discovered that it wasn't 40 minutes I had extra, it was 12. I had 4 hours to cut off 30 minutes of time, but I was ready. I began the run with incredible energy. There was some weird combination of excitement for the opportunity to gain the time back, and also the 6 cups of coffee I had that day. My throat wasn't happy with me, but I was screaming for the next 2 hours. The first mission back was a good start. Hardware ended with about a minute gained back, which was a good start like I said, but it wasn't enough. The next mission was the heist, which was the first display I had of a speedrun skip I had ready. For whatever reason, you're supposed to blow yourself up here and it speeds the run up. Genuinely, that's all I know. I just copied the stream I was watching. Later on in the heist, unfortunately I failed and had to go back a checkpoint, which honestly made me brick it. I was worried that despite my preparation and notes for this run, it would not be good enough and I would still find myself failing far too much. And then this happened. Skip. Ghost in time! Look at that time, brother! I ended the split and gained 5 minutes back. I couldn't believe my eyes, and suddenly there was hope in my heart. I'm Ghost in, man! 2 minutes, again, boom. I don't know, was that the mission? Calm, 12:30. But then it didn't work last stream. Okay, cool. Look at that, look at the time. Send it, Pac-Man. The next 30 minutes was similar, with Derailed gaining back another 2 minutes, Monkey Business gaining another 7 minutes, which, if you remember, is where I was meant to end last stream. Hang 10 gained me another 2 minutes, and then I did it. In surveying, I managed to go under 12 minutes. I was on track to finish in under 12 hours, and I had the next 3 hours to get even more comfortable on my time, which, unfortunately, was far easier said than done. Like I said earlier, most of the skips this run was simply resetting myself at the right time, but I'd still like to point out some pretty cool ones. At the end of Pac-Man, there's a trick in which you call Franklin as Trevor to hang out, and then go into director mode and leave straight away. And then, when you change to Franklin, he's in the city and about 20 seconds from the next mission. The skips that weren't just failing the mission were pretty similar to this, but unfortunately only around half of these random skips worked, which takes me on to Fresh Meat. Fresh Meat was the first split on Wednesday where I did actually lose time. The aim of this mission is to break into a slaughterhouse as Franklin to save Michael's life and kill the people holding him. At the beginning of the mission, when you find the slaughterhouse, the world record has a skip ready in which you clip through the wall and land right next to Michael. This didn't work for me. I ended up completing the level in the intentional way, which didn't particularly go fantastic either, failing once or twice, but it was hardly the end of the world. Another skip that failed is something dubbed a reload skip. Now, in this clip, you'll see that skip fail on Thursday, but all in all, it wasn't that important. The idea of the skip is to quick save and reload the save to force your character to respawn in another area of the map, presumably closer to a mission start or something similar. What happened to me was Well, nothing to put it simply. After reloading my save, my spawn didn't change at all, so I simply ignored it, got into a nearby car, and manually went to the mission instead. It wasn't the end of the world, to be honest. Well, it wasn't yet, anyway. For around 20 minutes, I hovered around 7 to 8 minutes, but as I neared the end of the run, I pulled it down to as far as 2 minutes and 49 seconds on reuniting, and from this point on, I hovered around this point until the end of the day. Now, don't get me wrong, it was unreal that I managed to cut down so much time in just 2 hours, and I was genuinely ecstatic that the day ended in such a way, but I'd be lying if I didn't say I was disappointed I didn't manage to pull it back into the negatives, which actually happened because I messed up the Bureau raid a couple times. You'll see in a moment why I wish I did, because Friday needed every second it could get. If I'm under 10 minutes, I'm happy. Friday began incredibly. I decided to sleep my computer the night before rather than shut down, and due to that, live splits stayed open and all my splits were exactly how I left them the night before. And after the success of yesterday, I ended up taking even more notes, which was especially strange considering there were actually only 45 minutes left of the run. The reason for the increased notes was because of the worst thing I could have seen coming. There were so many extremely volatile tricks, which means they were risky and I had no choice to do it if I wanted the run to have a chance of succeeding. There are 2 skips I was worried about, and one was at the beginning of Friday. You can see here that you're meant to clip through a wall and teleport into the right position to start the next mission, and the other skip was centered around duplicating cars. For the first skip, I had had a really bad experience previously with trying to clip through walls as a skip, so I was worried this would fall through, no pun intended. However, for this, I had a really simple backup plan that, at the end of the day, hardly loses me a minute or so in the run. The second skip was based around reload skipping. The skip I mentioned that failed on Thursday, and in terms of backup plans on failing that skip, the plan for this one was a bit more shaky, but we'll get there when we get there. Against the expectations of my chat, the beginning of the run went surprisingly well, and I even managed to pull that clip off, somewhat. See, you're supposed to have a parachute to complete the skip successfully, so I ended up having to do the backup plan I had and started the mission anyway. It doesn't really matter, because I barely lost any time on it at the end of the day anyway. After this, the run was mostly smooth for a good hour or so, still hovering around 3 to 5 minutes like the end of last stream. Well, it was at least smooth until Gauntlets. As you see, that's where the car duplication glitch is. At Franklin's old garage, there's the first of 3 muscle cars that's needed for the final heist, in which you steal it, fix it up at LS Customs, and park it in a specific garage. After this, you're meant to perform an elaborate save reload that's timed as you save the mission, and on refresh, all the cars are in the garage, saving the player from having to steal and fix up the other 2 cars. The world record takes maybe 5 to 10 minutes to do this. Me? Well, I'll show you. I started by arriving at Franklin's garage, only to find the car had failed to spawn there, presumably because I'd shown up too early, but that's okay. I can go to one of the intentional spawn points as given to me by the game, and then continue the glitch with that. So I showed up, stole the car, fixed it up, put it in the garage, attempted the glitch, and crossed my fingers. Now, I love GTA 5, but if this is what lost my account, I'd vow to never play the game again. As you can see, with no surprise at all, I failed the skip. It took me an extra 6 minutes to get the next car, and another 5 to get the one after that. And as part of the mission, you also have to go to the vehicle impound to steal a police van, which, fortunately enough, I did even faster than the world record since I didn't even get the police on the drive back. Not like it mattered too much anyway, considering I ended the split 10 minutes over. Do you remember all that time I had gained back last stream? Well, there it was going all down the drain, and I only had 2 missions left. Well, at least that's what I was thinking going into this heist. This heist was one I had put as much notes in as any other mission on this stream, but the way the heist was played was easy. It was borderline the intentional route, but I didn't let that stop me from stressing me out. After what I would have considered a perfect performance from myself, I actually murdered several people on the way to the bank this morning, sweetheart. Hope that's okay. I completed the heist in 16 minutes. Is that it? Yes! Look at that time, boy! Oh my god, only 3 minutes slower than the world record, putting me at only 1 minute 27 over. Despite the weird sabotage from the NPCs trying to make me lose. Why is my boy trying to cut me off, you know? Hello, I'm being sandwiched. Hello? Saboteur! It was immaculate, and it was the biggest time save I'd had this run. A whole 9 minutes to go into the final mission with. Now, I'm sure by this point you're sat in your seat excited to see if I complete the game in under 12 hours or not. And I tell you what, viewer, so was I. Maybe a little too excited, as I attempted a little trick called curb boosting. I hardly know how this works if I'm honest, but a chatter Adam's Dragon 13 was cheering me on to do it the whole run. On the final drive to the final mission, I thought I'd give it a go, and I was obtaining absurd speeds until this happened. Supposed to like ramp the back of his house. Oh, fuck! Oh, shit! Oh! Now, I wasn't extremely worried due to having a GTA Online mindset. I assumed I'd get spawned around the corner and would only have to briskly jog to the mission. It was only when I spawned in at the hospital with only 26 minutes left, I started to panic. I forgot how GTA works! Another chatter of mine was shouting at me to use fast travel in a nearby taxi, and I did exactly that, only to find out that it invalidates the run. And honestly, I know what I said at the start, but I actually weirdly cared about the legitimacy of this run at this point. So I killed myself once again to return to the hospital and steal a car instead. I began the final mission at 11:38, only 22 minutes left. Now, if you've ever played GTA 5, you know how long the last mission is. If I had to estimate, I'd say it is give or take a 30-minute mission, but I had skips in the palm of my hands. Unfortunately for me, I'd spent about an hour screaming and sweating and shaking, so clearly the tricks had slipped from the palm of my hand, considering absolutely none of the skips worked at all. Looking back, I have no idea what I did wrong to stop the skips from working, but I'm sure a speedrun demon could figure it out for me. Fast as physically possible. The hold-off part of the mission went mostly okay. There were things that could have been tighter and it could have gone better, but as far as a first attempt ever, I think it went pretty well. However, the next section, as Franklin, I almost messed up assassinating Mr. Cheng as he and his men began to escape, but I caught up pretty quickly and took him out, going on to the next assassination as Trevor. Trevor is supposed to snipe Laszlo, this Russell Brand-esque character from throughout the story, but the catch is, he's one person on a full Ferris wheel, and if you kill the wrong person, you fail the mission, which, considering the amount of notes I had, I'm pretty embarrassed to say actually happened to me once. But I was lucky to say I lost hardly any time at this point, but with hardly 10 minutes on the clock, I was extraordinarily stressed. And then came Michael's assassination, and oh, did it go perfectly. It was identical to the run I watched, and Michael, my beloved, killed all of them in a matter of seconds. Right, we're done, come on. Right, it's this last bit with Trevor and then we're done. If I don't fuck this up, we're good. Please. Please, 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 please. 9 minutes, come on. This meant that once again I was Trevor and I pulled up to Devon's house. Now, the intentional way to complete this assassination is to take out every single one of the guards and hit the checkpoint. But I didn't know that from watching the run. I thought you had to do everything you could to run to the checkpoint as fast as possible. After running there, I realized my mistake and scrambled to kill all of them as quickly as possible, moving on to the final drive with only 7 minutes left. One problem, it was a 6-kilometer drive and I was driving along in the biggest heap of crap you've ever seen. As I mentioned before, I was as sweaty as could be, and I knew I didn't have long, so I attempted to skip to get to the highway ASAP. But as you can see, I chose to do more of a roll for only a bit of fun. I was completely calm and level-headed on this final drive. In fact, I was so calm, I started to believe I had done it.
This is a serious
I noticed I was clearing kilometers faster than I was gaining minutes, which meant I completed it, right? The amount of people that said I couldn't do it! Okay, I've just okay, hold on. Guys, I got too excited and accidentally pressed F. In my excitement, I was shaking and sweating too much, so much I accidentally clipped the F key, sending the car off a cliff. Let's just thank the gods the Rockstar devs put this rock here, because if they didn't, my GTA Online account would have been gone forever. And so, I pulled up to the final checkpoint, pushed the car into the ocean, and watched the credits very calmly and happily. Noise warning for this next bit. Is that it? That's time! That's time! Yes! Woo! Let's go! Jojo's the goat. I did it all on stream. Merrily, 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 merrily. Get fucked. I'm the queen. I'm fucking crazy. I'm on another level. I'm just unbelievable. Entire run is invalidated by taking that taxi. How about the entire run's invalidated anyway because I split it into like 4 fucking days. Doesn't matter. I became a different man in this run. I was excited, happy, sad, hopeful, and even hopeless. But going from the start of the run to the end, I found the way I experience GTA is different now. It's broken as fuck. Like I said at the start, throughout doing this, I advertised myself doing this on stream, on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, and genuinely, not a single person had faith I'll do it. Honestly, not even myself on the second stream when I was an hour down. But by the end of the third day, I had hope. And I knew my hype and my concentration could carry me, which it did, and it inevitably saved my account. I'd really appreciate if you guys could come check out my Twitch at some point if you want to see me do this live. It's a very small dwindling community, and I'd love to see it grow and meet some of the people that watch my videos. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. If you'd like, you can come check out my VODs to see what I'm like in person, but if you don't have time for that, I do also just post clips on the VOD channel as well as my TikTok. New videos, not necessarily GTA, will be coming out every Friday, and I'll be doing important announcements for streams and videos in my shorts going forward, specifically on this channel. Hey guys, post-production Joseph here, just to say, I was originally supposed to move house this week, and then keep streaming on the same schedule, but unfortunately there was a bit of a mix house, and I've actually lost my house. I am moving into a new property now, tomorrow, which is Thursday the 21st of September, but unfortunately I won't have internet until the 4th of October. I will do everything in my power to get this internet earlier, so I can come back live on stream. But if you go onto my Twitch and you'll see that I haven't streamed recently, that's why. I haven't given up, I haven't left, and please don't be worried or put off. I've got some backup plans to try and get some videos out every Friday like I said before, but unfortunately the clips will be hit and miss, the streams will absolutely almost definitely be a miss until the 4th of October, and the videos will be pretty hit or miss too. Hopefully we can get this sorted out, and I'll see you guys soon. Much love and thanks for watching.